You have a drive-through penalty, not a stop-and-go, drive-through penalty. Come through the pit lane on the limiter this lap. Why? Because of Michael, because of Michael. Don't worry about it. We have to do it. We have to do it. Just drive through on the limiter. Through on the limiter. I'll be honest with you, this is bullshit. I gave him room. I gave him room. I know. Let's just try and do the best we can through this now. See if we can get some points.
Juan Pablo, you had much more incident in the race than you wanted, starting at the first corner. Talk us through that, and also what were you waving to Michael afterwards as you were coming back round to both make your first pit stops?
Well, I'll be honest. When we had this tire, came around the outside of Michael because he moved to the right, and you know, we got to the corner. I gave him enough room. You know, I talked to him already. He said he had a bit of understeer, and he touched me, and that was it. You know, for me it was a race incident. I think for him it was the same. And I was a bit pissed off because I saw he understeer off into me, so that's why I went like that to him. But that was it. You know, it was a bit frustrating because the car was very good. I did fastest lap of the race, and I think the strategy I was in, it wouldn't work from where I was.
Obviously, you were called in for the first driver to receive a drive-through penalty rather than the stop-go. Do you think that was really unfair? You did end up at the end of the day with more points than Michael, but what did you think about the drive-through?
But I think it was very unfair because, you know, I gave him room. He understeered a bit off. He touched me. That was it. You know, I kept, you know, it's racing incidents that, you know, I think after what happened in the first race, they went a bit extreme, and I had to pay for it. You know, I think the stewards didn't want to go. Everybody saying, "Oh, they should have done something." They didn't, I think.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. Michael, could you describe how you saw the first corner incident? Did you simply understeer into Juan Pablo, or did he not leave you enough space?
You can see it from two ways. I mean, obviously, if he would have opened more, we wouldn't have touched. But he wasn't willing to do this, so there wasn't any room for me. So we touched. I mean, I didn't see a drama in that. It was a shame that I lost my front wing and had to come in for a pit stop. I lost a lot of time, obviously, for that lap, plus the pit stop. But anyway, it was an exciting race in the end.
Do you think the penalty that Juan Pablo got was fair? You also ended up coming through the field doing a lot of overtaking, but do you think maybe he was dealt with quite harshly today?
Honestly, to be honest, yes, because I would think we have seen situations far more extreme where nothing has happened, and today a little touch, something was done. We don't seem to have a very consistent situation. That's something we maybe all together want to improve in future.
Michael, thank you.
Rising number one of Formula One, Juan wonders, should Juan only win one Formula One year? Would Juan want to have won that one in round one, Juan?
But one of them would be in round one.
To be the best in their class.
Right. Do you see their stops or a walk-off?
Yeah, the racing car driver. How'd you know? Most people say the painter. Have you tried Ash? I can't play golf. I'm gonna press. Hey, I'll ask him. Can you play?
Right. Thank you very much.
And with that, one of Michael Schumacher's chief rivals was gone, leaving sponsors disappointed and no doubt the comedians delighted.
Cracking start by Jenson Button. Montoya there, but Michael Schumacher cuts across him. Rubens Barrichello goes wide. Good start by Takuma Sato as well. Three abreast into Tamburello. One of the McLarens has gone straight on it. Must be David Coulthard. And look at Montoya. He's really attacking Michael Schumacher as they go down towards Villeneuve. He wants through. He wants through. No, he can't get through. And that's McLaren without a front wing. And look at Montoya attacking Schumacher.
Coulthard then lost his front wing. This is perfect for Jenson Button. Schumacher and Montoya too busy watching each other. Schumacher pushes Montoya clean off the road. Now Ralph's having a go down the outside. It's too grassy and too wet there, so Ralph loses out to Takuma Sato. It was stupid trying to hang on to that once Montoya had covered his line.
I saw his attack on the outside at braking, but then going around the corner, for me it was... First of all, I didn't see him, but second, outside around the corner, he usually lose ground, so I didn't really expect him to be there anymore.
That, you know,
I'm amazed. I actually got in front of him when we were braking a little bit. Oh, no, he didn't see me there. Well, no. No chance. You know, you got to either be blind or stupid to not see me, but, you know, it's racing.
All right, Juan Pablo Montoya. What a run today, by the way, for the 41 car of Pruitt. And there's contact. Montoya and Pruitt come together. Montoya, they spin around through the grass and dirt goes Montoya. Pruitt's car has yet to fire. And the caution is out.
I will tell you, I would have never believed that in a million years. Juan Montoya is just so excited and just pressed the issue a little bit getting into turn 1. My gosh, it's bad news when you take your own teammate out. And I know he didn't mean to do it. It's probably killing him right now. This happened.
It looked like to me there was a little, you know, there's enough blame to go around there. Scott could have seen him under him right there, maybe giving him just a little bit more room. You know that did mean for that to happen, but boy, I'll tell you what. Ooh.
And you see the look there on Brad Parrott's face, and you saw the very stern look from the team owners a moment ago, Chip Ganassi, who told our Jamie Little, the only team orders we have is don't wreck each other, which is just what happened.
Let's take a look at this. As he gets into turn 1, he darts out underneath them. Oh, no, that's a tough one right there, guys. It really is, because he's kind of got the spot on the 41 of Scott Pruitt. But when you get in that situation, things happen really, really quick. Let's watch it one more time. He's committing. Oh, tell you what, I really think that Juan Pablo just pressed that issue just a little too much. He's had such a great car. I would have probably waited another corner. Last thing Ganassi Racing wants to see, but it looks like Montoya's in a position he wants to be. And look at the guys go off through turn 1 and bounce back on into turn 3, passing a lot of cars right there.
What does a car owner think when this happens? The one thing he didn't want to happen, Jamie Little.
That's right. Discussions going on right now with the crew chief of the 42, Brad Parrott. Chip Ganassi not sounding too happy right now as he talks to the team. Chip, one of your drivers takes out the other driver. What is your opinion of what happened?
I didn't really see it on TV there, Jamie, so I don't know. You know, I mean, obviously we don't like drivers of our own team, you know, getting involved with each other, but we'll have to take a look at it and see what happened, you know. I mean, Juan's on 10-lap fresher tires, so he's got quite a bit of car. I don't know that he had to make a move like that so soon, but...
What did you just say to his crew chief, Brad Parrott?
Oh, I was just asking if the fenders were okay.
Are the fenders okay? That's a smile, I assume so, Doc.
I believe the comment was probably something different than the fenders are okay. I mean, those of us who know Chip Ganassi know he's pretty fiery, and Brad Parrott had done a great job. Brian Patty and company, meanwhile, down in the 41 pits for the car of Scott Pruitt. I mean, what a disappointment. Now, Pruitt is being shown way back in 17th position. Ladies and gentlemen, open up the NASCAR history books, because out of turn 8, Juan Pablo Montoya becomes the next winner of the NASCAR Busch Series. Juan Pablo Montoya has won it here at Mexico City, and the fans are going wild. What an effort.
And Scott Pruitt has made it up to 5th position. That's his teammate, so it's not so bad. Pruitt has come from 17th all the way up to 5th. He had a great car, too. You know, this is bittersweet to see Montoya win this thing, but he's got to be feeling really blue right now that he had contact with his own teammate.
And a moment ago, Scott Pruitt made his way up to the 42 beside his teammate Juan Pablo Montoya, who climbed down to the car to salute the fans from Colombia and Mexico who have been on their feet for much of this race today.
Well, it's a fantastic run for Juan Pablo. You know, that guy had the fastest car most of the day. He was dicing through the field. He deserves to win the race, but he just feels so bad about taking Pruitt out. And I totally understand what Brad Parrott's saying. He's a real emotional guy, but look at this. You know, hey, Andy, one thing I'm worried about, he stood up on the roof of that car. I hope he didn't dent it in, because NASCAR doesn't like that.
He'll be okay. He just proved to the whole world that he's a stock car driver.
We're going to see a lot of Juan Pablo, Jerry, in NASCAR from here to come.
Absolutely, and here is Scott Pruitt, and very, very frustrated. And just, you know, you heard you see his voice of all people. Alan Bestwick.
With Scott Pruitt. Scott, what are your thoughts?
Of all the people to take you out, your teammate. I mean, that was just no good, low, nasty, dirty driving. I mean, you know, the Juicy Fruit car ran great all day long. We were making our calls. We were being smart. I had my family at home. It's just, I can't even put it into words. It's just so disappointing. We talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it in meetings. He's faster than me, you know, we'll work it out, he can go, you know, but not take each other out. That's just bad driving.
Well, what do you say? You know, I mean, I totally feel for Scott Pruitt, but I think he's, you know, they'll wake up tomorrow, and I'll tell you what, when a day passes, it always seems like it gets better. There's so much emotion right now, and I totally understand. They both won the coveted 24 hours together as teammates. They were two of the best drivers at Daytona. I'll tell you what, a lot of emotions running down here, guys, a lot of emotions.
Let's go to victory lane.
Juan Pablo Montoya climbs from his car victorious, getting the Busch bath here in 7 starts. That's all it took in the Busch Series to get this victory. Juan, your baptism into NASCAR continues. Take us through today. What are the first thoughts on your mind?
Well, you know, it was a great day. Texaco Hobble in Dodge today, and with Telso, you know, they did an amazing job. Yesterday we was a little disappointed with qualifying. He was 30, wasn't great, but you know, it's great being here in Mexico. You know, being Telso involved in the car, Texaco and Havoline, and just everybody. You know, gotta thank Chip.
There were high points, low points today. Of course, the low point. Talk about your teammate. What happened?
Well, it felt really bad because we both needed a really good finish. And I went into the braking, and we were both braking about the same point, but he was slowing down the car a lot more. And he kind of stayed wide, so I went for the inside. And when I was there, he just turned, and I had nowhere to go. I feel really sorry about him, but, you know.
What does it mean to you to come down here to Mexico and win in Latin America? There's his wife.
Oh, it's big, you know. We got this one out of the way now, and, you know, the next one we need to win in an oval. I want to win in an oval. You know, that's where we need to be good.
A true champion, Doc. His sights are set on the next goal to win on an oval. Juan Pablo Montoya, before this, his best start and finish actually was 39th. Doc?
Green flag waves again here at Watkins Glen. Just 18 laps to go as Jeff Gordon will lead him down here. Denny Hamlin, Juan Pablo Montoya all the way across the racetrack.
Oh, I saw that one coming. Truex gave the 42 Montoya a shot.
Oh, he gets hit by Jeff Burton in the left front.
Yes, that's my fault. Told him to defend it.
The 29 car, Kevin Harvick, has heavy damage. Burton has damage. 2 of the Richard Childress cars are running in the top 12, are sitting parked in turn 1.
Now, Harvick's really mad at Montoya right now. He's parked in front of him. He's not going to let him move. They both got an issue.
Well, Kevin Harvick doesn't know exactly what happened here. He knows he got contact.
Well, he
from
knows
Juan Pablo
exactly
Montoya.
what happened. He didn't pull in front of him just to stop there. That's what happened. He's
well,
mad.
there's some other things that happened here. Because
let's see if they're going to fight. I want to see this. All right.
Montoya is upset. Harvick is not a guy you want to mess with.
Those batteries.
What are you doing? Watch this. Oh, here we go.
He's over there and got in his face. He's out of the car.
Neither one of these guys are happy here.
Harvick saying, no, stop it. Stop it. Montoya's to instigate this thing now.
Montoya keeps pushing him, and Harvick's not a guy you want to push too many times.
Well, to be fair, Harvick is the one that walked over to Montoya.
Jeff Burton, Harvick's teammate, gets out of the car, helmet off, trying to get his teammate away. Tempers flaring here on a restart with 18 laps to go, and 3 of the contenders are out of it.
What neither one of them probably know, the whole thing started when Martin Truex, 42 car, Juan Pablo was defending his position, trying to block the 1 car, Martin Truex. They both got together. Juan got sideways, and this whole issue started.
Was still on the lead lap. Can you hear me, Juan?
After all that, Juan Pablo is still on the lead lap.
Donnie Wingo, the crew chief, warning him to get back in the car and get back up, catch up with the pack, because here come the leaders by. Let's show you again. Here's what happened on the restart with 18 laps to go.
Take a look at Martin Truex. Gets in the back of Juan, gets him all sideways, gets him sliding, rear and gets on it, gets into Harvick. Montoya didn't do that on purpose for sure.
And that's what I was talking about. Harvick didn't realize all this had happened. All he knows is he got contact from Montoya. Montoya's got some problems with his car. He's had some hard contact here from 31 car Jeff Burton.
Back at Watkins Glen, pulling the cars that were damaged back in the garage area. Let's go down there with Mike Massaro standing by with Kevin Harvick.
And Doc, catching up with a very upset Kevin Harvick right now, and you can tell by what we saw on video that you were not very happy with Juan Pablo Montoya. What was your interpretation of what happened?
Well, my interpretation was you just got run over. I guess the one ran over the 42, but you know, it's one of those things where our Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet was really good there at the end, and just it felt like we'd saved our car enough to have a chance to win there, and it all just goes up in smoke because you know, some people get impatient. But just hate it, frustrated with 42. Just seems like he runs over somebody every week.
It seems like emotions did escalate a little bit there. What were you guys talking about?
I was talking about kicking his ass because that's how I felt about it.
Obviously, guys, Kevin Harvick very upset, coming in near the bubble here in this chase for the championship. Jamie?
And Doc, and Mike, we've caught up with Juan Pablo Montoya. So Juan, how did that contact happen from the get-go?
Well, you know, we had a very long first gear, and our restarts were always slow, and it's a little disappointing because, you know, we had a really fast car, so I went for the inside to defend the one car, and he punned me. He just hit me behind on the braking, and he spun me, and when he spun me, I collected the 29, and, you know, I got out of the car, so the car was completely trashed, and I went to Kevin and said, you know, it wasn't my fault. I got hit from behind, and he's, you know, he started shouting and grabbing me, and I don't appreciate that, you know. If it would have been my fault, I would go and say, you know, of course it's my fault. And he started saying all kinds of things, and I don't appreciate that, you know. I have a lot of respect for the guy, who I used to have a lot of respect for a guy like that, because he helped me a lot to start with, and I tried to tell him, dude, if it was my fault, I'd appreciate, you know, I'll say sorry, but when it's not even my fault, don't come and push me around like I'm a, you know, anybody.
That's Juan Pablo Montoya, guys, the rookie in the Cup Series, his first confrontation. Let's go to Dave.
And with car owner now, Chip Ganassi, and he had a chance to watch the two drivers and to listen to their comments. They were both trying to handle themselves very well, Chip, it looked like, but they were obviously angry.
Well, you know, Kevin was a big help to Juan when he came over. I know they're big fans of each other, and I'm sure they will be. And obviously down there in turn one, they didn't understand what really started the whole incident, and so that was unfortunate. But you know, I think everybody said what happened, and you know, it's pretty obvious when you look at the video what happened. And you know, unfortunately, you know, we got popped from behind, and Kevin, it was no fault of his, he got caught up in it. So it's unfortunate for both our team and the Childress team, and you know, we'll have to go on the next week, I guess.
Chip, I was interested to hear Juan Pablo talk about that long first gear. Is that a driver choice in terms of the comfort level and how he wants to get on and off pit road and run the slow corners? And do you think you might work with him to do it any differently next time and give him better restarts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's his first time here, and you know, he liked that gear better on the track than he did obviously getting out of the pits or on the restarts, but we thought we could live with it. And I mean, obviously, you know, you look back and you say, well, relative to everybody else, you might make a different choice next time. But you know, we were perfectly happy with how our car was running, and just, you know, albeit for all the restarts.
Okay, thanks, Chip. Sports car owner and NASCAR owner Chip Ganassi and Juan Pablo and he will be able to chat about this later on. Doc?
Jeff Gordon running second. Let's check in his pits with Alan Best. Oh, trouble. Juan Pablo Montoya, who had trouble early on here in June.
Hold on, just hold it right there. Keep it off the wall. You haven't hit nothing. You're good. Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake. Come on, you're good. Didn't hit anything.
Caution out here for the first time today. Chad McCumbee subbing for Kyle Petty. Also spin didn't have contact. Neither did Juan Pablo here in the Dodge.
Amazingly, they don't hit anything. It doesn't look like anybody made any contact.
Well, for all you young drivers watching, you never spin out at Michigan National Speedway and do not hit the wall. Juan Pablo Montoya held the brakes, kept that car locked down, and stayed on the brake pedal, and the car spun and came to a stop. Let's take a look at this replay, guys. Now, this is a classic aero loose. He got alongside the 22 car of Dave Blaney. Airflow did not get down the side of his car to his rear spoiler, and he just spun the car out. That's just kind of a rookie mistake. But this is not a rookie mistake, Andy. Look at that. Tires locked down, and he didn't hit the wall. That's the way you do it.
He did a great job not to hit the wall. And that it looked like maybe he was trying to stay off of that 22 car, too, because he didn't have enough room to chase the car up the hill to catch that car when it got loose. And by doing that, he did keep from taking the 22 car of Dave Blaney out with him.
Let's listen in to what Kevin Harvick had to say a moment ago. You see what's left of that tire from Montoya. He was sliding sideways. Let's listen to what Harvick had to say.
Hopefully it's good enough where he can't come back out. What a damn idiot move. It's not a matter of if he's going to wreck. It's just a matter of when he's going to wreck.
I'll tell you one thing. If I was Kevin Harvick, I would never laugh at a pass on Hurst. They used to tell me that. Be careful, man. Don't do anything like that or run your mouth, because you might get yourself in trouble one of these days saying stuff like that.
Fellas, remember these guys, Kevin Harvick and Juan Pablo Montoya from Watkins Glen. Dare say they're not the best of friends as of yet. And watch them side by side here at Bristol. Oh, a little squeeze there.
Oh, and Kevin stays in the throttle, gets him in the left rear quarter panel and says, take that. See you later, dude.
And again, side by side out on the racetrack. Harvick in the 29 car on the bottom. Montoya the 42 up high as they battle for the 10th position. And Harvick had it. Montoya takes it back.
It's like two guys. Neither one of them want to give any ground. These guys have been racing each other really hard. Alan?
Well, I'll hate to disagree with you, but the radio traffic on Montoya's channel says he's not really racing Harvick that hard. His spotter, Tab Boyd, had told him the 07 knocked the 29 into you, and Montoya said, that's okay, because I had just waved him through when that happened anyway. So, tension down, Montoya says, everything's cool, we're sticking to our game plan. Dave?
Interestingly, Alan, during that contact, you saw the third car involved there was Harvick's teammate, the 07, and Kevin's comments right after he got into the 42 was, hey, tell Clint, man, he's got one coming. That wasn't good.
Well, I hear all that, but I still don't think Kevin Harvick likes Juan Pablo Montoya. I don't think Montoya likes him either, so.
They are pack racing. It looks like the 10 out in California. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Just 3 times as fast.
Oh, trouble. Here we go. Menard
straight away, Menard.
Stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down.
Lock it down.
He does.
Man, 42 turn.
Wow. Everybody gets by.
Woo. Caution will fly.
Get it fired up. Get it fired up.
Larry, a couple teams will be glad to see that caution.
Yes, they will.
Very easy on those tires getting back around here. Very easy.
Paul Menard spun. Spotter said it was off the front bumper of Juan Montoya.
Whoa.
There's the contact.
Our second place finisher, Juan Pablo Montoya, just talking with his new crew chief, Jimmie Elledge. And it wasn't that long ago that you made your stock car debut here at this track. You almost won a race here. That was incredible.
Yeah, we're getting closer. You know, the team is doing such a good job. You know, Juicy Fruit Dodge has been amazing. And just everybody at Chip Ganassi, you know, we had a new crew chief this race, and it was first race with him, and we got a good result, so it was nice to see that.
And Juan Montoya, you just moved into the top 12 in points with that finish.
Well, you know, great, but it's such a long way. You know, we just got to keep finishing races and take advantage of races like this when we run well.
Montoya second at Talladega. Matt?
Pablo Montoya has been very happy with his race car today, as he now will not stay up front, just like Andy said. But the car is very good, and the driver said before this last red flag incident, just need to take care of it. Well, he has been taking care of it, and they got lucky on that last incident. They were running on the low line right with Kevin Harvick, and that saved him that time. Mike?
And you just saw Denny Hamlin step out of line and make the big pass. Well, that may be in a product. Oh, trouble on the racetrack. Montoya gets shuffled below the yellow line.
Just come on up and
will blend back in without incident. But that was pretty close, Doc.
Very good.
Wow, how good was that?
What a move, man. That was incredible. That's the way it's supposed to work, and it's a good thing that happened right there where there is a lot of room on the backstretch. That's the way things are supposed to happen, as he was forced down and then was able to get back in line. So no penalties, I don't think, forthcoming. Safe to say he didn't crack the throttle because he's still running third.
Yeah, that could have been the big one, too.
Yeah. Definitely could have been the big one for Montoya. If you watch this right here. You see, he was going down to try to make a move and then gets forced down by David Reagan. What he needs to be concerned about would be maybe some contact on that right front. We already saw the right front tire blow on Vickers.
He didn't lose a spot.
He did not lose a spot in that whole exchange.
How about that? He headed toward Aniston and came back and kept his position. Let's listen to Juan Pablo Montoya's radio.
Got a hit. Warren, I was there. That was a freaking idiot. Could have got a huge wreck. What a moron. The sick on you. Look at his rear fender. Look at his rear fender. You know, they brought up on him. I'm there. 10-4, you're fine. You're fine.
Obviously, Juan Pablo, and rightfully upset. It could have been a big one, as he said. And there comes the leader, Juan Pablo Montoya, for his final stop. If they get a good, clean stop, it's his race, basically, to hang on to win. Vince.
Juan Pablo Montoya says the car's just a little bit loose. They're going to make a slight air pressure adjustment, a half pound up on the right rear. Otherwise, things are good for Juan Pablo. They say the car is really good. They just wanted the crew to make sure they had a good, clean stop.
Check that.
42 car was too fast on pit road in 2 different segments.
You know, never badmouth NASCAR, but if they do this to me, I'm going to kill them.
And we're hearing numbers that are just absolutely, just barely over the limit. They give him 5 miles an hour, and that puts it to 60 miles an hour, and he's just a couple of tenths over, but this is going to be devastating. So Montoya has to come.
There's no way. I was on the green, 3 green lights all the way from before, maybe 30 yards before the line. Thank you, NASCAR, for screwing my day.
Man, this is heartbreaking.
Relax. We had this in the bag, and they screw us because I was not speeding. Don't speed exiting. Get you out there, Tim.
So he has to serve the pass-through penalty.
Stand on here. We'll have a good spot over here on the back.
Well, the thing is, they give you that grace period, that 5 miles an hour. How close do you guys push that, Dale?
Yeah, you push it. I mean, with everything that you have to work with now, you push it right to the limit. But, you know, you want to keep that there. I understand his frustration. This is done electronically. This has nothing to do with somebody sitting up with a stopwatch or anything anymore. It is right on, and they have a red light and a green light. And whenever you go over just a little bit of that 5 miles an hour that they give you, then they're going to penalize you.
This pit road is divided into 7 different segments, and there are sensors under the pits.
Look at this. Goodness gracious. Jimmie just can't find a place to race without having a bunch of pressure.
And Montoya just been contact. Man. Montoya and Tony Stewart together.
Looks like that might just be a move. Now Montoya's got a flat tire.
And there's more to this. We're being told there may have been contact on the turn prior to that between the 42 and the 14. Look at the front of the 42 car. Apparently he ran into the back of the 14 up the racetrack. Let's show you how this all started. Now watch a 42.
See, Tony pulls right up in front of Montoya there, with Montoya having a little bit of run.
Yeah. That's pretty general for a driver to slide up like that. You know, the guy that has the run, you kind of have to understand that he's going to give you a little bit of room.
Okay. There's your payback.
Tony wasn't appreciative of that at all. And that cut the right front of Juan Pablo Montoya's car. It sends him into the wall there.
Clear.
Looking back from Jimmie Johnson right in front of this. And Montoya will slide all the way up right into the wall because of that cut tire.
Yeah, if you're going for a championship, that's where you want to be looking at, is in your rear view mirror.
Well, I went down to check with Darian Grubb, the crew chief, just to make sure that the 14 was okay. Darian said we worked on the fenders a little bit, and they are okay. They did not make any chassis adjustments to the 14 car. They did put 4 fresh tires on. Shannon?
As you can see, the 42 car right now under repair in the garage. Brian Patty leaning in. They have no brakes. Right side damage. You can totally see it. Guys, it's important for this team to get back out there. The only chaser without a DNF this season, and you can see them working hard. Guys?
Montoya didn't want to talk, headed back to the hauler to cool off a little bit here.
One other quick note, Juan Pablo Montoya back on the racetrack, 39th position, 28 laps down. After repairs, remember, he and Tony Stewart tangled back at lap 116.
Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question. Who is the only NASCAR Sprint Cup Series rookie to ever win a race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway? Well, the guy spinning sideways, Tony Stewart, back in 1999 did it, and he spins it down, comes down across the racetrack and nudges the pit wall.
He's a good driver. Could have had a little help right there. I say he had a lot of help. I saw that one coming for about 5 laps.
Now NASCAR had just warned both of these teams, the 42 and the 14. As far as they was concerned, it should be over. And I guess someone didn't get the message.
I think now, as far as Montoya,
well, they warned the crew chiefs.
It might be over.
Get the bumper bar is up limit this time.
I think it might be over now.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Montoya was on a mission to settle the score.
Montoya had been in the garage 28 laps Comes out, and the 14 car is on the lead lap, being shown in the top 15, and there's the contact.
That's a lot of contact. You see the hood buckle up on that 42.
Trouble, turn one, Montoya. Hard in the wall from contact with Regan Smith.
This wreck.
That was vicious.
Yeah,
How did he even got to the corner?
that was really not. I can't really place blame on Montoya on that one. Looked like the 78 may have just kind of slid down a little bit and caught him in the right rear.
They were running 5th and 6th.
Watch these two guys. They go down here. Montoya's got a great run underneath. I think that's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think right here is where Montoya might have not given him enough room right there. And certainly in a race like this, you can't give a guy a break.
That caution came with 4 to go. Remember, cautions count in the first 20 laps.
I think what happens here is they get close right there, and then Regan right here. I think you see Montoya starts up the hill trying to get the line to get down in the corner, and he hadn't cleared Regan yet. So Montoya probably should have not moved up there at that point.
To the corner and hit Brooks. Stupid piece of shit. Blocks you for 4 laps and then he tries to wreck you like he's gonna do something.
Here's Dick Berggren.
With Juan Pablo Montoya, whose fault was that accident?
It's just hard when you have guys that don't belong there running there. I got beside him about 4 or 5 times. You know, never gave me any room. I went down the straight. I wanted to run the middle, and he just turned down when we haven't even got to the corner. You know, I hit before even getting, you know, like I was running beside him, and next thing I know, when I was just about to start turning in, I got hit in the right rear and pushed into the wall. It's just sad, you know. This target team runs so well, and that's what happens when you start by a lottery, not by performance, and it just doesn't have any.
Before the rain came, Juan Pablo Montoya had been on the pole. The rain eliminated qualifications.
4 tires. 4 tires. Get the car to win it here. 4 tires.
There you heard the call. Let's go to Mike.
And the job doesn't get any easier for crew chief Brian Patty. He was heavily scrutinized last week after making the call for 4 tires at Indianapolis. It proved not to be the right call. This time, though, he brings his man down pit road. They work on the right side. They take a can of fuel. They swing around to the left. A 4-tire change in the 42, Doc.
And they're going to do what Dale Jarrett said. They got a good car and a good driver. They're going to put it in his hands with 4 tires. Jamie.
And Tony Stewart on the bottom of your screen. The call is 4 tires. They're sticking with their call. You see Carl Edwards get out in front of him. They're calling for down there extra time. Tony Stewart's still in the box, and he loses positions. Guys, Greg Biffle once again leads him off pit road with 2 tires.
Wow, this is going to be interesting. Look at this. Some of these cars took no tires.
Yeah.
Newman up 16 spots. Gordon loses 9, taking 4. Stewart loses 5, taking 4. Oh, is this going to be a shootout?
It's going to be good.
Let's reset this for you because it's going to be Sam Hornish, who could be a sitting duck. He's going to be the race leader with Biffle alongside. Then Edwards and Martin in row 2. Then Reagan and Logano. Truex, Brian Newman. Then 9th and 10th are Stewart, Menard. Gordon is back to 11th with Harvick right alongside. And 13th is Hamlin. 14th is Montoya. Let's listen in on the radio.
You said we were coming in. There's 13 laps on the left tire, so I thought we were doing 2 tires. I said 4. We were on pit road. I said 4 tires of gas, guys. Then done. Talk about the left tires, this amount of times on the left tires, because I thought you were doing 2 tires. Did I confirm 4 tires or anything? No, I didn't. Did it make sense to take 4 tires? No, I didn't.
And guys, it certainly seems like there may be some trust issues lingering from Indianapolis. I spoke with Brian Patty earlier this weekend. He said he didn't really have a significant conversation with his driver this week. He did admit he sent him a text, but other than that, they really didn't talk about what happened in Indy, and it certainly seems like things have lingered.
We got trouble right here.
What in the world happened to Juan Montoya?
I'm going to say that the back of that car met that part out there that it wasn't looking or didn't want to with a little help.
That's a lot of damage to our pole sitter.
Well, let's see how Martin Truex saw that one.
Actually, Newman got a little bit of the wall, too.
Busch the leader. Gordon settles in 2nd for now. Hamlin 3rd, Boyer 4th, Casey Kane 5th. Then Mark Martin, Martin Truex, and Ryan Newman in 8th place. Remember, Newman and Montoya have gotten together twice. Montoya made a pit stop while we were in break, but did not replace that deck lid. But Matt, what's going on with the Army car?
Well, the Army car might very consistent, a little bit on the tight side, but it appears there's some lingering effects from that early race dust-up between Newman and Montoya.
Did you sort things out with the 42 there? I did with the spotter, but he's not very responsive. Well, he tried to crash us, and that ain't going to be cool afterwards. At 10-4. Hopefully NASCAR heard you there, and they'll take care of it there.
Brian Newman not happy about that turn of events. I wouldn't imagine this is a good place to do a slow burn for another 200 laps.
No, but you know, Montoya's been known to boys have at it. He's used that policy a couple of times, like at Homestead last year. So, you know, we could see some retaliation here on this little racetrack.
Ryan Newman was running 8th. He and Montoya have been feuding since Homestead last November. Remember what Ryan said a little bit ago?
Did you sort things out with the 42 there? I did with the spotter, but he's not very responsive. Well, he tried to crash us, and that ain't going to be cool afterwards. At 10-4. Hopefully NASCAR heard you there, and they'll take care of it there.
Now that transmission was some 40 laps ago. Here's what just happened to bring out the third caution entering turn 3.
You know, remember I told you that a guy that really liked boys have at it drove the 42 car? He just sort of had at it right there. Or actually, I think he just had it right there.
Well, if he had it, Ryan Newman got it.
Yeah, that picture right there pretty much tells the tale.
You know, some drivers are like, you run my night, I run yours.
Newman actually, again, did a nice job of staying off the wall. We will have 17 lead lap cars, 18 now, in a shootout.
Yeah, don't forget, Kurt Busch is back here in 17th. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on, working his way, trying to get through this traffic, get back to the front.
Don't even remotely rule out that we are finished with cautions either.
Oh,
not with these hungry hounds.
That would be very optimistic.
Johnson gets going, Montoya does not. They come to green, the field stacks up behind Montoya, then separates, and they're off to turn 1.
Yeah, Juan Montoya just did not even remotely get going.
Logano way on the outside, 3 wide, as he's done on the last 2 restarts, to good advantage with that 22.
Yeah, wasn't that many laps ago? Joey Logano in the 22 was 2 laps down.
Done a nice job. Won here yesterday, fought back today. Very nice job by the 22 bunch.
Violation.
Jimmy Johnson jumped the restart.
Well, it was...
Off the gas, NASCAR. Please look. I checked up to give him his spot back, but he blew it so bad.
Arguing the call.
I don't totally disagree. I mean, he took off, but Montoya didn't go at all. We saw this, a couple of years ago at Richmond with Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart.
Guys, look at that black car behind Jimmie Johnson in that 48, and look at this battle right here. This would be a battle for back at about the 4th position. You see the black flag that they are waving on Jimmie Johnson in the 48.
Yeah, he's got to come to pit road. He's got to do it in the next lap.
Kyle way up high, gathers it back in at turn 2, behind the leaders, and scoots off from Clint Bowyer. And here comes Johnson to serve the penalty. Whether or not Juan Montoya spun the tires on the outside on this restart.
That was the beginning of the restart box right there. You see those 2 lines on the inside? That's the restart box.
Yeah, he was well inside the box. No question about that.
All right, there's the restart box right there. That's where the leader restarts the race.
NASCAR's rule, if you beat the leader to the line, you've got to give it back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Jimmie Johnson was not the leader.
Right, exactly.
If he had checked up and let Montoya get back up there or pass him and then passed him back, he'd have been fine, but he kept going.
And what he was claiming, he tried to give it back, and Montoya wouldn't take it. But regardless, there's a penalty now with 14 laps to go. Look who's leading the race, Montoya in the 42. Look who's running second. Tony Stewart in the 14.
Well, let's check in with Steve Burns, who's with the runner-up. Steve?
Hey, Chris, Juan Pablo Montoya shaking hands with all the guys on the team. It was a great battle. Tell us about the end there with Tony Stewart.
He was way quicker. I don't understand where he came from. He wasn't that good all day, and it was good when he mattered. Our car, that last run, it was a little tight the first few laps, and I thought we were going to be good, and then started losing the rear really quick, and never had any speed. It seemed like you normally have like 10 or 15 laps where you can really mat the gas, and I was completely on top of the track. I think our left tires were way too old. But, you know, everybody in the Energizer car this week did a really good job. And, you know, I think that win's coming. It's good to be running this good every week.
Thank you very much, Juan. Back to Chris. Well, Krista, back here in the garage with a disappointed Jimmie Johnson. And, Jimmie, we're going to let you see the restart. Did you think you jumped it?
No, I was half throttle for the whole front stretch. And at some point, you know, I got to go. And in this situation, NASCAR has the judgment to decide if you jump the start or not. But, he's not even going. So I'm not sure if his car broke or he's off power, spun the tires. I don't know. So I'm running half throttle down the front stretch waiting for him, and he never comes. So at that point, you know, we got back going. Chad even told me on the radio that something had happened and I should just take off and not worry about it. And then we were called on it. So bummer way to lose the race. We certainly had the winning car. Would have loved to have this Monsters University Chevrolet in victory lane today, but I'll have to come back and do it in the fall.
All right, thanks very much, Jimmie. Appreciate your explanation. Chris?
Thanks, Steve. Jimmie Johnson starts the year with a Daytona 500 win and almost closed out the Fox portion here in Dover, Delaware with a victory. A controversial call, judgment call. We even heard on the radio he said that he checked up.
Oh, Montoya's out.
In the wall. I think he got on the inside of Ed. I was watching one of the other TVs, and he went for a move down on the inside of Ed.
Guys, out of control.
Yeah, it looks like he got chopped by Ed. He said, I saw him make a move down the inside, and I will bet
Right there, bud.
that the air was taken off of his car and it came out from under him.
An amazing run has come to an end for Juan Pablo Montoya. This is how it happened.
He took a look down the inside, and Ed just continued down.
Oh, Ed just pushed him.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I wouldn't want to be Ed.
And that was not the line that Ed has been running for quite a while. He's been up 2 or 3 grooves from that. So I'm sure Montoya, when he came up on him, saw that, you know, I'm going to go to the bottom. He's mad, you can tell. He's going to have a finger wave at Ed. Maybe
a little
fire
bit more.
something at her, is giving them the.
And Juan Pablo Montoya knew that he was on a good thing. And
The incident with car 2 and car 20 is under review.
Well, that wasn't very good. I've got to say that Ed really chopped him down. But places like this, you have to make room. If you're going to race, you've got to race clean because you just can't. It's too risky.
No action on the 20. Thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I don't think Montoya was completely all the way in there, but I can understand his frustration. But that was a different line than Ed had been running all night long. So it's you know, there's definitely some question that could get raised, but ultimately Montoya wasn't all the way in there.
David, your thoughts?
Well, he wasn't already in there, but I mean, he was close enough that it was that's what I'd call a block. You can't get much more blatant block than that.
Let's listen to some radio transmission from both cars. Here we go.
We're in the wall. Are you okay? That guy's out of control. I was going to try to go low that time just to try something different. I didn't mean to stuff him. But I don't know if it's my fault.
Well, I mean, you know, he's been running the high line all night, and he's been struggling with handling. We've seen him struggle on multiple occasions getting loose, so he was going to try something different to try to change the handling. I mean, that's what you do as a racing driver. So I think it's just one of those things. You know, obviously he didn't intentionally try to, I don't think, run him below the rail.
Pablo Montoya has just exited the medical center. You're okay, first of all?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, our PPG Chevy was really good today. You know, we had all kinds of issues, and yesterday in qualifying got really loose, and, you know, we came back today with really strong passing people. You know, I got inside of him, and he was running high. The ozone decided to run low. You know, he's been running every lap on the top. I got inside of him, and it's like they all love preaching safe racing and everything, but when you're going to pass them, they're just douchebags, you know?
They reviewed it and they said no action taken, so there's going to be no penalty.
I'll take some action later.
There you go.
Pablo Montoya heated, as you can understand.
All right, all right. He's going to take some action later, but it's just one of those things. He's obviously frustrated, had a bad night tonight, all kinds of problems, like you said. But, he does have a point where Ed has never run that line the whole night, so I can see his point.
And Ed Carpenter was hoping that he would have had a shot as well. He took tires at the end, but you said you didn't put those tires on until a lap after people like Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, I mean, we just hesitated, and then we were riding around, and I'm like, I'm struggling. These things aren't good. I'm not going to gain spots. We're probably going to lose. So then we ultimately made the decision to come in. But kudos to Ryan and Joseph for making the right call. It's a little bit of a bummer. I didn't see many Hondas up front all night. It seemed like Chevys were kind of dominating the night to not get a win for Chevy. But we at least made it exciting at the end, took tires and got up to 5th, which is better than where we would have finished if we would have stayed out. So, we struggled with the car tonight. So, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with 5th. It was a long night.
I need to ask you about the incident on track with Juan Pablo Montoya. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I certainly wasn't trying to take him out. I knew he had been working the inside. I was struggling. I was just going to try the low side that time. I didn't know he was that far in there. Lee, my spotter, was trying to tell me he was there, but it was too late. I had already started coming down. So, my apologies. I definitely wouldn't have appreciated that if I was on the other end of it. But at the same time, it wasn't intentional. I have a lot of respect for Juan, so hopefully we can talk about it without me getting my butt kicked.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. He looked pretty mad.
Yeah. He knows there's a conversation coming. That's for sure.
Oh, car on the wall. Paul Menard. As Joey Logano ducks onto pit road, and NASCAR officials checking with their spotters around the racetrack to see if there are any showers in the area. Because there's a little thing that's popped up on the radar that's pretty close. Like that. Watch this for Paul Menard.
Oh, he got a little help. That explains a lot more.
That's a nice save.
Yeah, it was. Montoya, a little aggressive there. But we've known him to be that.
Sage Karam spins. Sage Karam backwards in turn 5, full course yellow, as Rahal's on pit lane.
The rookie facing the wrong direction, and Graham Rahal beat the pit closed in.
But Montoya didn't.
Clear out, yeah, go.
This could be a major turning point.
We gotta push.
Major turning point in the complexion of this race.
Wow, what an incredible piece of luck.
Well, the skid marks tell part of the story there for Sage Karam. How did he get in that position, though? Timing of the yellow taken and it given. This time it took it from Juan Pablo Montoya. He beats everybody up pit road. Will Power second, Newgarden third. But I think they're only going to cycle in around 11th or so in this race with Rahal. He should be taking over the lead. Indeed, he does. So, too, up there.
That didn't help us there.
Very good position is Justin Wilson, Simon Pagenaud, Scott Dixon. All right, let's hear from Juan Montoya. Jan's there.
And boy, you talk about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Unfortunately for Juan Pablo Montoya, he clears as Castro Neves cars come through. You were on the good end of the pit stop strategy originally. You went to the front, but then that timing in the end for that strategy just burned you.
Yeah, I mean, when everybody else pitted, they had to say field from that point, or it was hard for them to make it without a caution. And it's kind of weird that all the Ganassi cars pitted on stage all of a sudden spins. So it's what it is. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I heard the spin was really dodgy. So that's what it is.
So you think there's some foul play there?
Karma's a bitch, so we'll see.
Well, we know that's under review, and I know the Penske team wants to see this data. Very unhappy, Juan Pablo Montoya.
Extremely unhappy, Montoya. Body language there, everything.
Well, the gap, the walls are closing in on Juan Montoya. Single-digit lead. He started the day with a 42-point lead. That guy there changed the complexion of this championship dramatically. The lead is now just 9 as we head to Pocono. in a couple of weeks' time.
Right on the back straightaway, Montoya up against the grass. This is going to be sketchy.
Wow. They were diving for positions, maneuvering, positioning, and around goes Jack Hawksworth in turn 5. Let's take you back a few moments ago. This could tell us more. Watch this, the view from Montoya's car. Bourdais up ahead. To the right is Charlie Kimball. Almost contact there. There's definitely contact there.
Push to pass is on with Kimball. No push to pass for Chilton. You see he's getting passed.
And there goes Bourdais' right rear pod. That was Charlie Kimball getting into the back of Bourdais' Kardashian. And there it is flopping around.
And it's hung up on Montoya's car. So I wonder if it's still there now. We see here something, foam flying, something broke right there.
And again, a lucky escape.
How about these two teammates? Watch Hunter Ray and Munoz going at it.
Charlie Kimball brought it home 6, and Charlie, what a turnaround. When I talked to you on Friday, you hated the car, and you brought it home 6 today.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with that. The Novo Nordisk Chip Ganassi Racing guys have worked hard all weekend, and the fact that the 3 sessions that didn't count, I think we were 21st, 19th, and 19th, and the 2 sessions that counted, we were 6th and 11th, and 6th in the race, you know, the best result of the weekend. So a lot of credit goes to the team. They worked really hard, and we pulled setup data from Max's car and the Gallagher car, from the Target Clorox car, as well as the NTT car. So it's nice to see Tony on the podium. You know, Scott had some engine issues, which was too bad.
Ganassi was on reds in that last stint. Penske was on the blacks. Did you have anything for them?
Yeah, I think so. I had a really good run on Helio, and then he blocked me. Race control called it a block, and then Hunter Ray overtook him under like racing conditions, and they said, oh, that's the position. And so I have to go talk to race control a little bit about that. You know, the move, he blocked me down into turn 5, and then the fact that I could hang on around turn 1, around the exit, that was it was exciting. I don't know that I want to do that again, but you know, a lot of credit to the 83 guys in pit lane. And they just kept giving me positions all day long. Yeah, and there's the block, which is, it made it hard because that cost me momentum and the 28 goes by. But overall, I'm really happy with 6. These guys have worked so hard all weekend, and we've got some great guests here in Wisconsin from Novo Nordisk, a couple diabetes educators, as well as a few Novo Nordisk sales reps. So it's great to put on a show for them, and all the fans. The fans have been awesome. It's great to be back here at Road America, and can't wait to be back. You know, go to the Glen here in September, another iconic American track, and then come back here next year and do a few 5 slots better.
All right, we saw the contact, or possible contact between you and Elio, but I got to ask, was there anything between you and Hunter Ray?
No, Ryan Hunter Ray and I, for his feeling as poorly as he looked in the driver's meeting, he drove the wheels off it. I got to give him credit. We raced really hard. He raced me. We sort of went back and forth quite a bit, and I thought, I don't know why he was going to the right there, so I apologize for not giving him as much room. I'm glad he got the spot in the end. He was quicker at those last couple of laps, so a lot of fun racing around here. The Verizon IndyCar Series put on a pretty good show, I think.
Yeah, like Charlie said, some really incredible battles out there, Marty.
Behind camera, his teammate Juan Pablo Montoya, give him a little bit of grief as well, just to encourage him along a little bit. Let's talk to him real quick. Hey, you had a lot of fun with Charlie Kimball those final few laps, didn't you?
No, I'm not a big fan of how Charlie races, you know, to be honest. Yeah, it's close racing, but, you know, his theory of close racing is banging wheels on the straight and put people on the grass. He did it to me in the first lap. I was next to him and probably didn't even look in the mirror. Like, he hit me and he just kept turning into me, and I got to the grass and I had to lift. It's kind of disappointing when people race like that, but I'll tell you, the Velvet Chevy was really good today. Yeah. We got screwed in qualifying with that red flag, but you know, made good passes. I think we put a hell of a show today for IndyCar here in Road America.
Joseph Newgarden said he loves racing you like this because you're such a challenge to race.
Yeah, we race, but we give each other room. I mean, look, we're going at it. We're next to each other, and we give each other room. Look, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? But it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with, like, driving people to the grass, and that's Charlie.
All right, there you go. Some honest feelings from Juan Pablo.
No, it's just being honest. You know, ask anybody. Everybody will tell you the same thing.
All right, there you go. Just being honest. Juan Pablo Montoya, you can always count on a little honesty. Katie?